Hello.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Zara.
Hi. Hello. Uh, Happy Monday, y'all.
Hello.
What's up? We're here.
We're here.
Uh,
Hello,
Happy?
Money.
See,
Mondays.
with the news. No, you're supposed. I'm queuing you up. You didn't like you. You
Happy. This thing is opposite. Happy
money
Mondays
with the
the
Mouzons.
Mouzons.
That's right. We're here.
And we're
Only
back.
8 minutes late because of her today. We're gonna start
Yes.
clocking how late this is
And
till we
also because of
actually.
these.
Not even because of those. Those were already
That and
here. I was looking
coffee
for my phone.
and all the other things that are there.
Yeah.
But either way, we're here. We're locked in. It's another Money Mondays with the Mouzons. As always, y'all, we're super excited to do this with you guys every Monday. Get a chance to dive in, and I got all these things.
No, me
happening.
too.
Hold
She doesn't. She
Anyway, there we go. I'm trying to share this. Cool. All right. Now we're locked in. So again, every Monday, we get a chance to come here whenever my wife wants to be on time and actually like show up. Then we'll be here to talk about money things, financial topics, things that might be on your mind, things that we talk to people about on a daily basis around money. And so that's why we get a chance to do this.
We got a good one today.
Yeah, we do. And
Or not so good. I mean, I don't know if it's a good topic. I mean, necessary topic, but not very good to talk about.
Yeah, good topic.
Not a happy thing.
We'll figure it out.
Could be for some people.
Could be, right? Could be. But either way, just remember the reason why we do this is so you guys have an opportunity to talk about money. Right? We don't often get a chance to talk about it with financial professionals. We don't often get a chance to talk about it with people that are knowledgeable around the space. I was just having this conversation. It was your homecoming, like alumni weekend type thing. And I actually said this to when I was golfing with Drew and Dave. I was like, the problem with our industry, the money industry, is everyone thinks they know money, right? Like you know you're not a doctor, so like you don't try to do those things, right? Like you're not a surgeon, you're not a whatever, but everyone thinks they know money or has some understanding of it at least because they have to deal with it. So that's why a lot of times people don't always use financial professionals, or if they do, they use them in the wrong way. They use them just to manage their money or like take their money kind of thing. And we always want people to be educated. We want people to have the conversations that are necessary to get their financial life in order. So that's why we're here. That's why we do it. And so if you have questions, feel free to drop questions down here in the chat. We got a new format now. We're not just streaming Facebook. We're also Facebook and YouTube right now. So you can feel free to go to YouTube. You can like and subscribe over there on YouTube. If you're following us here on Facebook, obviously, you know, this is where you can always find us and message us and have these conversations. But today, we're talking about generational wealth.
Yeah.
Generational wealth. It's something you had brought up a couple weeks ago. And I was like, I don't think people really, like, they say the word, it's a buzzword.
But do they know what it means?
And
are they practicing it?
That's the key, right?
Or are they just talking about it? And that's it. Really not practicing it. Our actions and our habits don't line up with, you know, what we talk about or what we say we want.
That's right. And that's the conversation. Do your actions and your habits line up? If you are a person that thinks about generational wealth, if you're a person that thinks about passing money down or making sure your kids or your grandkids are technically generational by definition, is like multiple, right? Like you think of kids, grandkids, great grandkids in your planning, in the way that you think about money. If you're one of those people, hey, Munch, can you do me a favor? Can you close the? Thank you. If you're one of those people that starts thinking about generational wealth, then this is the conversation for you. We have this conversation with a lot of people. because we hear it a lot. I want to build generational wealth. I want to pass things down. I want to, and again, you talked about it when we're on the calls of like, if you want to build generational wealth. And the more we talk to people, the more we see like, I don't know that people really do want to build generational wealth. Right? I don't know that it's a buzzword. It's something that's nice, but how do we build generational wealth? Right? Like that becomes the question. So, man, there was a quote that I had. What are your thoughts on building generational wealth? I know you just ate.
Oh, hold on.
I don't know why you're always. Oh man, I told you this show is going to be short-lived. Right, we've been doing this for almost 2 years, probably like 2 years now. It's not going to go much longer because this one, I can't get her to focus on.
All right, you said that. Yes, it is. Generational wealth.
There was yeah. She's still not done.
I think people think generational wealth, and they think like lavish, luxury, status, like all of the things, and it's very equated to like money, dollar number. But actually, generational wealth is like way beyond that, like way beyond just like the dollar amount. How are we doing financially? Are our grandkids going to be okay financially? I think generational wealth is about like the mindset that gets changed in each generation. That talks about the habits that start from the very beginning. How we're talking to our kids about money. How we're talking to our kids about earning money, how we're talking about savings. Savings for what? How are we saving? Are we saving to buy or saving to save? Like how we talk to our kids about sacrifice, like how we talk to them about vision, about thinking about their generation from the very beginning, Like I think that's generational wealth. And then money, the dollar amount is like a byproduct of all of those things.
Sure, that's a good way to think about it. Pretty like philosophical, right? Way to think about.
Because when you think about it,
everything starts with mindset.
Yeah, and that's what we find out when we teach. When we're literally just talking to people about simple things like budget, life insurance policies, long-term care, things like that. It all ends up, we start peeling back the onions. And then you start to realize that these people actually have a very deep rooted thing that needs to change in order for these other things to not just change, but maintain.
Sure.
Like sometimes people make small changes, but then in the end, they end up going back to the bad habits. It's because the foundation, like the root, didn't change.
Sure. And again, everything starts with mindset, right? So yeah, passing down a wealth mindset. I've said this to people. I've said this to you before. Like my definition of wealth, right? If we're going to talk wealth, my definition of wealth is the ability to fully experience life, to be able to experience all the people, places, and things that God has in store for us to see, right? Most people think of just as like financial wealth, and that's why I said starting off with mindset. It's a good place to start because wealth comes in many forms, right? If my definition of wealth is to be able to fully experience life, right? Be able to fully experience all the people, places, and things, experiences God has in store for me to see, right? That's my definition of wealth. So generationally, how do I pass that down? How do I allow our daughter and our grandkids or whatever it is, right? Our legacy to be able to fully experience all that life has to offer? Well, obviously the big part of it is having the options financially, right? Again, money is just a tool. Okay, we always remind this as we have these money conversations, because like you said, people's minds are rooted in lots of different things. So someone out there that's listening is like, money's not everything. And someone else is like, money is the root of all evil. And someone else is thinking, right? I don't need money. I'm just happy with God. Like we have these thoughts. That's fine. But just remember, money brings you options. Money brings you options. That's all.
Yeah, it's not an idol. It's just a tool.
It's just a tool. That's all. Yeah. And you're going to deal with it for the rest of your life. So you might as well get good at it. And so if it brings your options, then we got to go off and we got to start thinking about these options that we have, right? And so that's where wealth starts. That's where the wealth, it starts in the mind. It starts with the mindset. of what are we saying, what are we teaching our children about money, about experiences, about people, about life, about how to move around. Do you teach like basic things? Do you teach your kids to travel? Like if you grew up in a place all by yourself, but you're like, I want to build generational wealth, but you've lived in the same city your entire life, is that a form of wealth? Like of teaching your children how to explore the world or how to, go out of the country or anything like that? That could be a form of it. But if we just take a look at the financial side, right?
A big part of it is definitely how we talk to them about how we earn. Like that is like very foundational, I think, because I think just statistically, and I could be wrong, but I'm kind of like guessing this really, but I would think that generational wealth is easier built as far as like money, earning money, and faster than at a your own business or businesses rather than like a traditional job.
For sure.
Right? Okay.
For sure.
Yeah, that's
I
what
mean,
I'm
that's just.
I'm not going to need to go into statistics about that,
For
but I'm
sure.
pretty sure that that's accurate.
For sure. You have to own something, right? Well, you have to own something. You have
Ownership,
to,
yeah.
You have to own something, right? In order to be able to pass it down, right? So if we're thinking
and generational wealth is usually built on multiple streams of income, which
right.
we just talked about last week.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right.
Not just one income. Yeah.
Right. Because there's lots of ways to get these options. So practical side, and the thing that prompted this conversation today is because the government shut down, right? And prayers to everybody that's like affected by the government shutdown, and you're losing income or whatever the case is. By the way, this is why you should have a financial conversation with us, right? Because again, we talk about this. Learning how to earn money is important, and so if the only way you knew how to earn money was through the job or through the government job, and then all of a sudden it's shut down again. For the second time in 6 years, it shut down again. We might need to go back to the drawing board of figuring out how to earn money. It's nothing that, like, again, you can stay at your job if you want to, but if you really want to, again, build this generational wealth, have some ownership, you got to figure out other ways to earn income. And typically that's with skill sets in business, right? Businesses, they say that America is built on the back of small business owners. You know what I mean? Like, of course, we talk about the major corporations and all this stuff, but like in every town, in every state, like there's like small businesses that like run the stuff, right? Your electrician, your plumber, your financial person, right? Like your restaurant owner, you're like all these people that are around are small business owners, and they are the ones that, if they hone their skills, are can have the ability to pass down some of that wealth. So it does start with how we teach them how to earn money, our children, but it also starts with how you see earning money. That's all. So if you steer your kids in the direction that you're going, are we really creating generational wealth? Are we really going to be able to pass down assets? Are we really, like, if we want to take the literal term of wealth of like having assets, because that's really what it is, right? Your net worth. If you haven't ever thought about your net worth, maybe you should, right? What is your net worth? You take all your assets, you subtract your liabilities, the things you owe, and that's going to give you your net worth, right? So have you looked at that? And if not, you should. But that's the definition, right? Like that's really what wealth is measured by assets.
That was a conversation we had long time ago. Do we think about our income or do we think about our net worth? Like most of us have been conditioned, again, we don't realize the conditioning and the programming that's already been done unto us and that we live in every single day. And that's a big part of, again, checking our mindset. If we want to really switch to generational wealth, are you still living out the conditional thinking and the program thinking of what's not generational wealth? But long ago we talked about like how are we thinking when we talk about our income, our money? Are we like, oh, my income per year is blah blah blah? That's what most people say, right? Or are we like, no, my net worth is blah blah blah? Like what number are you constantly thinking about as far as like you're earning what you have or what you're making?
And that's a good point, but that's because most people are still in the income expense thought process.
Attainment, yeah.
Like income expense, right? What's coming in, what's going out, the cash flow side. Most people are still there because we don't have enough. You don't have enough disposable income The
Mhm.
income is not always consistent. Your expenses keep going up, so that number keeps shrinking. So
Right.
it keeps our brain on, well, I gotta, don't have enough to save, don't have, right? We're in this income expense side. Once you graduate from income and expenses, that's when you can get to net worth, when you no longer have to worry about what's coming in and what's going out. You've created a business, you have substantial amounts of discretionary income. That no longer is your focus. Your focus now becomes on, how am I growing assets? How am I removing liabilities so my net worth is growing? But that's why we teach the foundational things, because that's where most people are. We want you to get to net worth thinking. But if you're still in survival, kind of trying to figure out your day to day, your week to week, month to month, I get it. That can be difficult. But that's also why we don't think people really are thinking about generational wealth, right? Because we're too focused on, is the job paying me $27 an hour or $50 an hour? And how do I, right? Like, I want to buy this house and get this mortgage and my expenses. Like, we're in a different conversation. That being said, also, the point I was going to make too is this government shutdown reveals a lot to people, like to us and right to people. You can't fight. I think there's someone on Facebook, I forget, it might have been Robert. Yeah, Robert was talking about, he had made a post.
Robert
Williams,
okay.
Out of Harrisburg.
Okay.
If you're watching, right? Just shout out, right? He's talking about, like, most people don't want to create generational wealth because you're complaining about benefits, right? You're asking for benefits. You're asking for the government to, like, provide you all these things. And again, I know someone listening, like, we can get into the conversation of livable wage, and right, I hear both sides, and I'm not necessarily saying that you're wrong in the way you think or anything like that. Like, of course, people should be paid a livable wage. And, if that's how you look at life. Sure, if you think CEOs are overpaid or corporate greed, like, I get all those sides. And if you're one of the people that says you want generational wealth or you want to build generational wealth, then that's not your fight. In all honesty, right? Like, that's not your fight to be thinking about the benefits and all of those types of things, because
ownership.
Yeah, benefits are what we get when we sacrifice our freedom, right? When we say, like, people that go for a job are looking for the benefits. So now when you get the benefits, they control you. So if you're looking for, man, I wish the job had more benefits for me, you're looking to be controlled. Not looking for benefits. We're looking for freedom. We're looking for wealth. We're looking for generational wealth. We're trying to make sure our kids and grandkids and great-grandkids have everything they need to survive this crazy world that's out here.
That's uncertain.
It's
creating your own certainty.
That's it. It's betting on yourself. It's not asking for the benefits of this and then going to try to create something out of that.
You know what's so funny? Like, we talked this entire time about generational wealth, yet we didn't even mention no dollar amount. None.
Yeah.
That just proves that, like, generational wealth is not about a dollar amount.
Yeah. People get hung up on the dollar amount. Like, what does it mean to be wealth? But, like, at the end of the day,
or that it equates to just money. But again, all the things that we just talked about, the money was just the tool. It wasn't the thing. It was just the tool to create the things of generational wealth.
I do want to throw a caveat in there, though, because I know we talk to enough people that there's someone out there listening that's like, yeah, I gave my kid great values, and they think that that's a form of generational wealth. Like, kinda, but money is really the factor to it, right? Money is what brings the options. Every generation should get better from a value standpoint and all those things. But, like, it doesn't just stop there. You can't say I created generational wealth because I gave good values. And I don't know, that could be controversial. Like, that might not even be what I believe fully.
I mean, wealth and morale and value, that's wealth in that area, but it's not wealth as in, like, financial freedom,
right? And
time freedom,
right? And I see people settle sometimes for that side and not even go after the financial side because they settle with I gave them this, right? In Scripture it says, a great man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. And so an inheritance typically is, right, something that they will get, they will
Right.
gain, they will inherit.
Mm-hmm.
We can look at that like wealth. I mean, financial inheritance,
Mm-hmm.
but like that's how important it is for your children's children to have something from you that you are
Right.
planning for them.
Mm-hmm.
And the way we get there is through ownership. It's not through, right, benefits. It's not through asking the government for all of the things that we feel like we can't do. Like it's really going out and saying, okay, I own my life, and I'm thinking about few generations. So what passes down? What are things that are inherited? Some people say, home, sure, but the statistic is like something like 80 something percent of kids sell their parents' home or like grandparents' home. Why? Because they need the money. They're not wealthy. They pass down an asset, but that's not wealth. That's not passing down, right, an inheritance of it. That's just one thing to pass down. So owning something and building it in your lifetime, that's really how we get to generational wealth. It's by starting something in your generation, in your lifetime, and building it.
That will continue to feed the next generations
Building
to
it.
come.
That's
However,
it.
that can sustain that. But yeah,
The word is building. I've said this before. Like, I don't think people know what it means to build something. Like, if you think of like just the most elementary of like when you used to play with Legos, or you used to, right, play with blocks back in the day, right? You would have to sit there and put like pieces together to build something up. Well, then the question in your life, if you want to get to generational wealth, is what are you building? You got to be building something, because that's what passes down. Again, you could be building a real estate portfolio, sure, but you're building that. It's not just I have one piece of real estate or I have two. I'm building a portfolio, or I'm building a company. I'm building a network. You're building something that then can pass down. And we got to get back into the mindset of building. This country is built on the back of small business owners. It was built. You can take your part in that if you start building something. That's why we don't think everyone that talks generational wealth actually is following through with their actions, because the actions are, what are you building? If you're going to come talk to me about generational wealth, cool, we'll get there. But what are you building? Like currently, what are you building? Because it's not what will you build. Because you have to lay it brick by brick. Like I said, most people don't know how to build anything, right? So like it takes time to build something. It takes time to build up a major corporation you can pass down. I always think of, and I'll post this too, like even in this conversation of generational wealth, there's a stat that says like, man, I heard this from Dan Cathy. He's the guy that runs Chick-fil-A. He's the founder, he's the grandson of Chick-fil-A. And they're an anomaly for many reasons, right? But one is because he's a third generation owner, right? It's passed down from grandfather to father to him.
Yeah.
And that's like super rare. There's some statistic that says like only like 2% or something make it to like third generation businesses, because most of them, the second generation squanders all the stuff, right? Yeah, right. And so the reason he was talking about that is like they have like strict rules and guidelines for like even how people marry into the family. Right? Like it's not all willy-nilly. It's like, listen, like we have an empire, we've built something, we've passed this down, and so now there needs to be rules around it. There needs to be boundaries. There needs to be structure around it. That's generational wealth. Like there's rules, there's boundaries, there's a vision, there's bylaws and creeds and like all types of things you have to trust, all types of things you have to follow in order to just. So the question is like, what are you building, right? Do you have any of that stuff? Even if you say like, my family is gonna have XYZ, do you have a trust already? Because a trust is how you preserve your legacy after you pass away, because everything that's written there, you name a trustee, it doesn't even have to be someone in your family. That person is just someone that you trust, or a company, and then they can oversee that all of the things that you've done while you were living actually play out. If you don't have a trust, Kids are gonna do whatever they want to do. They're gonna sell their house. They might not want to run the business. Typically, they don't want to run the business. They don't want to follow in your footsteps. Like, we really have to have a clear conversation around: are you really building generational wealth, or is this just a wish? Is this a buzzword for you? Is this just it might be nice. Like, heard someone say it, and that would be cool. But what are you building? What bricks have you laid in your life? What bricks have you laid in your, foundation financially? So,
Right.
truth about generational wealth is you got to actually build something. That's how you do it. You got to build something. So you got to ask.
You build it, you own it.
That's right. You got to build it. And so there's lots of things you can build, but you got to get to work building. You got to put your Bob the Builder hat on. You got to get back to Legos and like figuring out like how to put these pieces in place so you can build up something that has foundation, that has structure, that will then pass down to your next generation so they can experience all the things that God has in store for them to see, the people, places, and things God has in store for them to see. That's wealth. That's what it means to get free. Are we ever really free? No. But either way, generational wealth, important conversation. It came up again because people are fighting for the government to give them some benefits and give them some handouts and keep their jobs and all this stuff. And again, I understand if that, like, it sucks for the people that have no intention to build generational wealth and they're caught up in these government layoffs and all the layoffs that have happened this year. It's a lot. But again, we're talking to the people that talk about wanting to build generational wealth, because we hear it all the time. Want to build generational wealth. Want to build generational wealth. Got it. If you do, what are you building? What are you building? More than just owning one home. Are you building a real estate? Is that the goal, to build a real estate portfolio? Because that's how you would have to think about it if you're building something. You have to have multiple properties, multiple real estate investments, so that they don't have to sell off the one thing when you pass away because you didn't have any life insurance. Right? That's a whole nother conversation of generational wealth. Right? If you really want to talk about just if you are the person, we'll kind of end on this maybe. If you are the person that says like, hey, I want to build generational wealth, but I'm okay being at a job and I want to just pass down values. I want to just instill the right things. I want my children to know God. I want them to have integrity and all this stuff. And you model that and they become that. That is a form of generational wealth. Then the two products you need are life insurance and a trust. Right? If you're not going to take the advice of like going to build something for yourself and you're just like, hey, I know I can instill all these, I can pass down this emotional wealth. I don't know what to call that, right? Like moral wealth, right? I'm passing that down. I'm passing that down to my children. Fine, but they're going to need some finances, like in order for them to have the options to do all the things. And so you want to help assist with that. Good life insurance policy. Ideally, a permanent life insurance policy, not a term, right? Most people get terms, but then those terms expire. And then when they expire, when you pass away, you're only going to have like burial expenses. But if you are in your 30s, 40s, 50s right now, you're talking about generational wealth, then you need a permanent life insurance policy that for sure will pass down 6 figures worth of money. It's a tax-free benefit. So we're not getting a $20,000, IUL, you're getting a $500,000 IUL or whole life policy or whatever you choose to do, universal life policy. And then you have a trust and you name the beneficiary of your life insurance policy, the trust. Don't give it to the children, put it all in the trust. Once you pass away, the trust now has not only your $500,000 or $200,000 or however much you had in life insurance, it has this capital. It also has your instructions of what to do with that capital. So you're not just leaving it up to your generations to figure out. I'm sure the Chick-fil-A, the Cathy family did not just leave it up to the next kids to be like, oh, you figure out what to do with this thing, right? There's some rules there. There's some things there. And that's where a trust is set up, not so you can avoid taxes and also it's so you can avoid probate. And so you can leave your wishes and someone has to follow them. No one has to follow your will. You can write out your will, but that still has to go to a judge. If you choose to not go in front of a judge, that will doesn't mean anything. But if you have a trust, the only way people can get access to that trust is if they follow the rules of the trust. So if you say, hey, I put this 500,000 in when I pass away, this is what the money should be used for. X amount goes into stocks, X amount goes into real estate, X amount goes into you starting a business. There's money here if you want to start a family and you can't, you need IVF, there's money there for that. You want to send your kids to Harvard, there's money there for that. This is going to grow here. That's how then you might have passed down all the morals, all of the integrity, and you left them money and instructions. That's another way to start the generational wealth. So there's all types of ways to go about it, but again, are you doing that? Right? That's what we see when people are talking about this stuff. It's like, are you doing that? Are you either actively building something that your family can benefit from, or if you are just giving them the heart side of you, the emotional side, you're giving them good values, instilling good things in them, then you still got to leave them some life insurance money, not just for burial, but to succeed, and put that in a trust and leave all your wishes in the trust. Tell them exactly how to run this thing. And that's how we do it. Most people's actions don't line up with that. If you're one of the people that say, I want generational wealth, you got to get your actions to line up. Either build something or come to us and make sure you have a hefty life insurance policy and a trust. Right. That's it. And you can start those things today. You can start building something today if you want to. You can get your life insurance today. You can get your trust today. Like all these things you can do today outside, and that'll help you start building towards kind of where you want to go. So it's our generational wealth conversation. Yeah. We need it more often. We need to be real with people more often. We need to talk about this more often. These are not just buzzwords, right? These are things that you put actions and intention behind, and you can get there. Yeah. That's all. So we're here to help. We're here to make sure that you can get this information. If you got questions, hit us up. You guys here, we're live on Facebook and YouTube now. But you guys know on Facebook, we're all family, right? You guys know us. So you can feel free to message us. Feel free to shoot us a DM, text us, whatever, if you have our number. And let's have a conversation of what you got to do to start building.
You need a professional, that's for sure. You're not going to build generational wealth by yourself. You need a team of professionals. A team of professionals. That was another conversation on one of our previous Money Mondays. Having a team of professionals when you're trying to build something out. Whether it's a business, your financial portfolio, different areas, you need different professionals.
You need a team. Teamwork makes the dream work. Business and life are a team sport. Because these thoughts just popped into my mind. Like I just saw a sermon from Darius Daniels where he basically said, if you want to be more like Jesus, you need to be with people. Right? It's even like a biblical thing. Like if you want to be more Christ-like, then you should want to be around people and be with people because you can't do life alone. Right. Darius Daniels said, you can't be your best self by yourself. That's good. You can't be your best self by yourself. Like you need other people. You can't be your best business owner. You can't be your best self just doing life alone. So that's why you need help. So we're here, y'all, every Monday that she wants to show up. Every Monday that she shows up on time. We will be here next Monday. It'll be November already. 2 months left in the year. By the way, remember how you end the years, how you start the next year. How you end the years, how you start the next year. So how you're going to end the year financially. Hopefully you're going to end it on a good note. So we're going to get out of here for the day. You say goodbye?
We got a fourth family member.
You ready? Happy
money. Oh, sorry. Once again.
Happy
money
Mondays
with the Mouzons.
No, Leia has to do
I don't know if she's gonna be able to.
Ready?
Yeah.
Happy
Mondays with the
Mouzons.
There we go.
What?
Why are you
Whatever.
doing?
We're out of here.
No.
Yes, we gotta go.
Happy
Mondays
with the Mouzons. Yes, she said it.
No.
What is happening?
It's Leia says it, not any of you.
But
So
Okay.
we're just gonna be silent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, ready? Ready? You ready? Happy.
Money.
No, you're Monday. All right, we're done.
Happy.
Money.
Mondays.
All right, that was not like. Anyway, y'all, we'll see you guys next Monday here on Facebook. Take care.
You're gonna fall.
Oh man.